Hi everyone, today I am going to be demonstrating how to plant some small trays of microgreens, some small trays of baby greens, and a large tray of broccoli and cress mix. So let's get started. I'm going to plant the large tray of broccoli and cress first. We're going with 18 grams of each. That's a little more than I usually do. I usually recommend between 12 and 14 grams of each per planting in a 10-20 tray, which would give you roughly 24 to 28 grams total. But today it's going to be 36 grams total, so I'm giving that a try. I've already pre-weighed everything, and so now I'm just going to pour my seeds into my shaker. Give it a little more of a mixing. And before we get that part, I will give my tray a little spraying. This just helps let the seeds stick. And I will start spreading. I like to do the edges first and then kind of do an up and down pattern with these bigger trays. Even coverage is our main goal. I still don't get it perfect every time, but someday. And you don't want to dump out a whole bunch at once. You know, it's better if it takes you a little bit longer to spread it out. Okay, we're going with that. Now that that's spread, I will do a little more spray misting. Done. I mean, if you don't have a spray mister hose set up at your house, like most people aren't going to, I recommend the pump up spray bottles where you pump them up and then you have a constant source of pressure. Those work really well and save you from all the squeezing action. Now I'm going to put this tray on top. I'm going to put 10 pounds of weight on that and put that off on my shelf. The cress is a tricky one. This time I am going to go probably 3 days without even looking at it. I just want to see if it's going to, because of the whole stickiness issue of the cress, I'm going to see if it will, in a healthy way, germinate and not stick the seeds to the tray, to the dirt, and come up in big clumps. So it's the first time I'm doing it like that. I'll keep you posted. Next, we're going to plant some of our smaller trays. So I'll take my lids off, set them aside. We're going to plant our peas first. I've already pre-soaked and rinsed them off. So I'm just going to spread them out here. These small trays are pretty easy to plant. It doesn't take a whole lot of maneuvering. With peas, sometimes you can just plant them put them a couple piles on your tray and just sort of spread them out. Just kind of pat these down a bit. Okay, my soil, when I dug it out yesterday, it was actually quite frozen, so it's compacted a bit since, and I would actually fill these up a little more if I didn't have this already set up, just so With these trays, I would go about an inch from the top to fill them. But as you can see, they're a little down, just a little bit more. I don't foresee that being too much of a problem, but just a suggestion. Next, I'm going to go with my sunflowers. So for the peas, I had 40 grams of peas. You could go 42 if you wanted. The sunflowers, I have 20 grams of dry seed. You could go 23 grams if you're looking to up that just a bit. That's a good little guideline. So again, we can just put that in a pile. If this were a bigger tray, I would probably try to put the piles more evenly distributed around, but where we're using small trays, it's quite easy. And if I've scared people with the sunflowers and the mold in my write-up, in my booklet, using these smaller trays, you're going to encounter very little of that. So don't let that scare you. Can't say it enough. Smaller trays, great for beginners. Okay, those sunflowers are planted. Next, we will be planting our collards. So I've got my handy dandy little shaker, seed shaker, spice shaker. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to pour it in this little measuring cup because it has a little tapered spout on the side, which makes it a little easier for transferring the seeds. And I will spread them in here. Again, you know, you just want to spread them as evenly as possible. You don't want too much clumps in one spot. So as I said, there's 6 grams of collards here. When you're planting your collards in these small trays, you can go 4 to 6 grams. In the refills, I usually go 4 grams or so just for beginners, but you can push it to 6 grams as well. So that one's done. Next is our onion. And for our onion, I've got 8 grams. Now, I'm not sure. That seems like a lot to me, but on my calculations, I should be good for this size. But we will see. Again, I would go 6 to 8 grams for the onions. With some of these, I'm just pushing the seed weights a bit today. So, there we go. And 8 grams isn't too bad. Not as thickly seeded as I thought it would be. Okay. And if you're wondering why I'm not spraying these yet, each one individually, I'll do that all at the end. I'll give them all a spray mist before we put our germinating covers back on. All right, now cilantro. So for the cilantro, I'm going to, first of all, dig out a little bit, because we gotta cover it over with a 1/2 inch to 3/4. In the book I say 3/4 to 1 inch, but I think we'll go 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch of soil over top of the cilantro. Yeah, I think a 1/2 inch to 3/4 will do us well here. I may even have forgot to spray these first. I should have sprayed them first if you've caught on to that. I'll do that now anyways with the cilantro. I'll give this a little spraying in here. Now I'm going to put my cilantro in our little spice shaker, seed shaker. Oops. Oh, luckily that didn't go everywhere. Okay. So we'll get about 6 grams in there. And spread it out. So, you know, we do our best to get it even. All right. With the cilantro, I like to give it another little spray. There we go. Get a little moisture on those seeds. And then we're going to put our soil back over. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to give everything a little spray mist for over top. Okay. And we will put our lids over top again. Now I will put this lid over top of all of those. Another thing you could have done, we could have stacked them all up like this and put a weight on top. I like to go 4 high with them, so that would leave this guy odd out and we'd have to put another weight on him. But the alternative is to do it like I'm doing. Put this one here and then stick a couple 5-pounders on top of that. As I said before, bricks work good. I mean, you could use a paint can for all that matters, just as long as it's something that can be removed easily and isn't going to spill or leak. So what do we got left here? The dill. We got one little tray left. Little spray. And for the dill, I'm going with 2 grams of dill. Dill is one of the great microgreens, baby greens varieties. It can be mixed with others quite easily. Grows fairly problem-free. Really nice flavor. And fennel is pretty much the same as dill for growing wise. Flavor, of course, is a little more of the anise licorice flavor, but a great herb to grow. So again, we're just spreading it out nice and evenly. If I were doing baby greens in one of the noodle bowls, I would probably go with maybe like a 1/2 to 1/3 gram of dill buried just under 1/8 of an inch of the soil. And you know, if you have trouble with the dill micros, go to the baby greens. They're nice and easy. Good for beginners. Oh, before we do that, a little spray, and I will be putting a little 2.5 pound weight on that guy for germination. Okay, now we're going to get our little baby greens noodle bowls going here. And let's go. I think let's do our cilantro first, just as a baby green. So we'll dig this out once again. Again, the soil was frozen, so it kind of compressed a little bit. I would have filled these up a tiny bit more if I'd noticed that before. So for our cilantro baby greens, I've got about 1.5 grams, about 1.5 grams of the cilantro. It's such a small amount, you don't even have to put it in a shaker if you don't want to. I will, however, give it a little spray and just tap it all in there. There we go. Spread it around. There we go. Now, we'll give it another little spray. There it is. And then we'll put our dirt back in. In fact, I'm pretty sure I will go out and get some more dirt after this video. It's down a little more than I would like, that is for sure. I'd probably put another 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch of soil in that, but we don't have that right now, so moving on. And of course, as a baby green, it doesn't get weighted. We just let it come up as it does. And we'll set that aside. Next, we will do our lettuce. So I've put a couple, maybe 5 or 6 dill seeds in with my mesclun mix because I like a little bit of dill at my salad. But in the e-booklet, I have a list a mile long of mustards and amaranths and cilantros and all the stuff you can put in with your mesclun salad mix. So I'll do the same thing. This time we only really need to be about an 1/8 of an inch below, just a sprinkle over top of soil. Put a little more back in there. All right, so not much mesclun salad in there. I think we got so I mean, if you're doing these bowls, 0.2 grams to 0.15 grams is pretty good with your herbs and your lettuce mixed in total. And again, we will spray just to get a little moist. And I think I'll just pick it out. There's so few seed that we may as well just use our hands to distribute this tiny bit of seed. That is done. Now we put our soil back on. And again, I may add a tiny bit of soil to this bowl once the video is done. I usually like to have them up, within 1/8 of an inch to the top. And that one's done. The salad bowls for the baby greens I like to put directly under light. You don't have to. You can put them under light once they start to germinate. So now we're going to do our basil. And the old basil just goes right on top of our soil. But this is where I like to use my little obscure trick. I'm going to be putting in some Thai basil, some Genovese basil, and some purple basil. So I'll divide that off into thirds. Again, I would have it up, so it was about 1/8 of an inch soil down from the top. And we're not really going to measure off. I'm just going to use a little tiny bit of seed in a spoon. So I'm going to use this spoon. We're probably looking at maybe like 15 to 20 seeds per side. We're going for baby greens, so we don't want them too thick. This is the Thai basil here. And a little bit of Genovese basil here, your classic Italian basil. Wait, now, almost put more Thai basil in there. We're going for our purple basil last. Okay. Just a sprinkle of each. Take these away. A little spray, and the basil will go directly under light because light does help basil germinate. And we will never weight our basil just for the fact that it is a gelatinous or a mucilaginous seed, and it will just stick to a lid, and yeah, you don't want to put weight on it. Anyways, that is the video, and I hope everybody has a good time growing and you learn something. All right, take care.